Hi, everyone, and welcome once again to one of our Hobby Memorial Library events. We are continuing our Surviving Adulthood series, and we have a very special speaker who's going to talk to us about self care and the 7 pillars of self care. We have Keshia Ward, who is a certified recovery peer specialist and a mental health peer specialist. So, welcome, Keshia, and thank you for coming.
Hello, everybody. Glad to be here. I'm excited to be sharing self care with you all and what that looks like. And one thing about self care is there's no right or wrong way to do it. This is totally your own plan for your personal self care. And let's just dive right in. Let's just dive right in. So, I like to consider myself a self care guru. And the reason I say that is because I had no idea what self care looked like. I thought it was self care means when you get to drop the kids off at your parents' house and you get to have some time to yourself, you get to get a mani pedi, you get to get your hair done. I thought that that was like what it was. It was a reward system. But what I'm finding in my travels in life is self care is actually necessary. It's not so much of a reward system, it's necessary to do for yourself to get to the rewards. So once we know what self care looks like for ourselves and we begin to implement that into our lives are so much more rewarding, so much more fulfilling. And I just believe that we as a people have to normalize self care and respecting others while they're taking care of themselves. No matter what we think that looks like for us, this is what it looks like for another individual and giving them grace and honor during that. So, the first thing I want to talk about is mental self care, and then we'll kind of go into the emotional self care, some physical self care, environmental self care, spiritual self care, recreational self care, social self care. Those are the 7 pillars of self care. And then I also have a golden nugget for you, and that's going to be financial self care. Yes, it is. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be some good stuff. So don't get nervous. Don't feel like, oh, no, not that. Let's just remember that we're here to take care of not only ourselves, but one another by sharing this information. Okay. So feel free to share whatever you hear here and learn here with everybody that'll listen to it because it's really, really important and impactful information that we're walking away with here today. So, mental self care is about cultivating a healthy mindset through mindfulness and curiosity. Well, you might think, what does that mean? I remember asking my sister, hey, do you practice mindfulness? And she was like, yeah, sure. She's like, yeah, I'm mindful of what I say. I'm mindful of this. And I was like, no, on another parameter. Do you practice mindfulness? And when I began practicing mindfulness, I was so lost because I was like, I could never sit and just enjoy drinking a bottle of water. That something and to that small degree is practicing mindfulness. So with that being said, taking time to enjoy getting in your car to head to school or work and letting that be a good space to be in and not like rushing out of the door thinking about everything that has to happen when you get there and the traffic that's over here and all the other things that we can think of because I know I've had a lot of thoughts at the times and just being able to say, hey, this is really nice. I get to drive myself to work, or I get to ride to work, I get to go to school, and this is a nice 15-30 minute commute. And just think of some things, to be grateful in that moment for and just be mindful. That is like the that's the golden piece right there. It is. And then the curiosity part is just allowing yourself to be curious. So, for instance, while you're thinking of your mindfulness and you're practicing that in the moment, allow yourself to be curious about the person that's next to you if you're on a ride share, or the drivers ahead of you or behind you if you're in a car. And when I say allow yourself to be curious, I'm not saying allow yourself to be curious about why are they driving so slow or why can't they speed up or but to allow yourself to be curious and say, I hope that they get where they're going safely and I hope that they're going to have a really great day. And just in that realm. So another thing that's been really big in my life and large is meditation. So meditation is also another form of mindfulness. And I also have a golden nugget to add to that. So if you would take the time, if you like, to go to balanceapp.com. It's an app that has meditations. It's entirely free for a whole year. Sometimes when I've gotten free things, it was like free, but I couldn't go into this part of it or that part of it. I only could do phase 1 and 2. Well, this app is completely free for a year, and it has all the meditations that are free. There's meditations you can do with your family, meditations you can do while walking, driving, sleeping, and there's even some focused meditations for studying and working. Another thing that can be very helpful for practicing mindfulness is just incorporating the seasons. You know, looking at how they're changing and notating that. Okay, it's fall. We got the colors of the leaves coming in. Okay, it's summer. You know, there's some green things and then some things are bare. This is Texas. And then the spring. Looking at how all that stuff comes back and just kind of keeping a little journal of that for yourself and what you feel like in the moment when you're observing that. Another one also that I personally love is following moon cycles. Super fun. And what phase that the moon is in. So those are some great ways to go ahead and implement mindfulness and curiosity into your self-care practices. Then also the next one is going to be emotional. So emotional self-care involves taking care of your heart with healthy coping strategies. As we all have had some type of thing that has been overwhelming or stressful to us, and you know, we have not really thought it out to the point of what's happening in our bodies when those things happen. I was listening to a podcast that talked about remember to breathe. And you hear that all the time. You're like, yeah, okay, deep breath, remember to breathe. But I actually paid attention to myself in the middle of a upset, and I wasn't breathing. I was holding my breath in my body. So that's another thing. Coming up with some healthy strategies to help you cope. So meditation could also be written into that. And then also you can come up with some things that are really simple and don't cost a lot of money, if any, and really change your life, like walking, or um, deciding to take a drive and pick a park to go to, things like that. All of that stuff lowers your blood pressure and it gets your heart into it and healthy. So those are some emotional self-care things that I want to share with you guys. Also, you can go a little deeper and join a support group. I have a good tool here. NAMI is another a good support group. They have multiple groups at that, and you can just find whichever niche you plan to be in and just join it. Also, there is a group called Hey Peers, and some groups on that portal are free, and some of them are not. But there's an opportunity there to go ahead and join a support group that is also very, very healthy for you emotionally. The next one is going to be physical. So, physical self care involves taking care of your body with exercise, nutrition, and proper sleep. And for me, I never really knew what proper sleep was because it was so interrupted that I had to do a whole log for months on how I slept, what I felt like when I woke up. I found out that I don't need 8.9 hours of sleep like some other people do. My body is optimal at 6.5. But that is something, I'm not a doctor, but that is something that when you go and start learning about your sleep cycle, chronotype has been really helpful at sleepdoctor.com for learning about your chronotypes. And then also being able to learn about sleep cycles and how they impact your life and what happens during a full sleep cycle. So just wanted to share that as well. Um, Nutrition, big one. And that was a really big one for me because I like cakes and stuff. Like that makes me feel like I'm doing the nutrition thing because it makes me feel good. And then I had to remember, okay, hold on, we can have some cake, not all of the cake. And I began to transform my own diet And I changed to pescatarian. I stopped eating fried foods. I began to eat all organic, and I really noticed the difference. I did. And so that's why, what worked for me, but something different may work for you. I want to share these things with you so that you can have some places to gauge those ideas from and try and see if it works for you. And then you can also um, move it around a little bit so it does work for you. And another huge one was water. I noticed the difference in my mental capacity and how much energy I had when I drank at least 6 to 7 of these. If I drank 8 or more, I was doing really well. If I drank less than 5, I didn't do so optimal. So this it's a little case of water, HEB or whatever kind of water you like, and you just kind of track how much you're drinking and how you feel when you're drinking X amount and what your body needs. Okay. So the next one is environmental self-care, which involves taking care of the spaces and places around you. I like to really, really lean in on that one because I was like semi clutter, semi pack rat type of chick. And I would just save everything. If I got a greeting card, I'm telling you, I had it 15 years later. And the reason I had it is I was like, I'm gonna make a scrapbook. I don't put pictures of the person that gave me that. And I had all kind of reasons why this goes together, why I needed to save those things. Well, and that's okay if that's working for you. But what I learned is once I started getting rid of some things, doing some decluttering, and then not only just decluttering, but decluttering and donating the things that I decluttered so that it would be helpful for somebody else. It made me feel great. And coming back to my space that was nice and clean made me feel even better. And I realized I like to be a person that has a bunch of good feelings and vibes around me. And I couldn't have that with all those stacks of cards because I'm telling you, I had them and all those boxes and all those sweaters and so there's some things I purge on pajamas and loungewear. I let myself have as many as I want. I do because that's my one luxury right there. But I think that when I began to declutter, I started listening to an audible title about less things, and it talked about how when we take things from one space and put it in a space where it's needed and used, then we free up space for more things that we can cultivate and grow with. So if that makes sense for you or not, but just think about it, And then another one that was really big for me was cleaning my yard. So even when, because I have 5 dogs, y'all. So the yard has to get clean. So I learned that okay, I can get out there and clean my yard. I find a schedule that works for me, and it's not so tedious for me because when I clean my yard, I actually go out there and walk more in my yard, enjoy it. Started planting flowers, made a sitting area. All those things were rich additions to my life and how I felt every day, and how I could balance my emotions and energy. Another thing you could do is organize a neighborhood cleanup. Even if it's just one block, print notes, write them, put them on the neighbors' doors. This is the day we're going to do this. You're welcome to join. And if not, how can I help you? And just that's always a good thing because you'd be surprised at how many people actually will pitch in and support. I've done it before. I have. The next one is going to be spiritual self care. So, spiritual self care involves activities or practices that give sense of meaning to your life. And it doesn't necessarily always mean that you need to be in church every Sunday at 10 o'clock till they close. But being able to balance within yourself, whether it's church, whether it's yoga, whether it's meditation, or whatever it is that makes you feel good and bring meaning to your life per se, and be able to implement that into your life on a regular basis so that you can have that balance. So um, maybe if you did go to church, you can decide to host a study. It's free. You don't have to pay anything. You can potluck it. People can bring stuff, can make it really nice. Or you can attend or volunteer a food drive. Those are things that are also helpful in the spiritual realm if it gives meaning to serve others as well. So recreational one is going to be our sixth pillar of self-care. And recreational self-care involves making time for hobbies and fun activities and new experiences. And I have loved that part so much. I really have, because I've learned a lot of new things about myself and things that I like to do. And I always say I'll try anything once, and then, if I don't like it, I'll try it another way and maybe I will. So I have some really creative art because of that, by the way. um, but what you could do recreationally is, budget style, DIY, do it yourself, 99-cent store crafts. You can upcycle things that you find. You can take it and just say, hey, what can I create from this? You can check is it Pinterest? I never say it right. Pinterest or TikTok or some of those other social media handles, and look and see what people are doing to upcycle. You will be amazed. You can also repurpose and recycle stuff. So, I have made a lot of nice little things that go on pillows out of pieces of fabric from a shirt that I'm going to throw away. Before I throw it away, I'll cut that out right there. It's bleached, but that's okay. It's still good. So I take what part of it that is used is able to be used, and I use it, So that's really great. I love doing stuff like that. The last one that we're going to talk about is going to be social. And I struggled with that for a while because I didn't really feel like I fit in a lot of settings. And I just started learning to show up as myself and just be okay being weird there. It's okay. That's me. That's who I am. Nobody can be me. And that's my superpower, right? So, yes. So you can do a lot of things to gauge the social self-care, like meet with people that you have like interests with, go to other cities that are nearby in your community and connect and network. It doesn't have to be an expensive thought to have fun and to also make some lifelong friendships and connections with people. So that's basically one of the ways that I began to come out of my little social shell. And I just started going places that I always said I would like to try that. I look on Eventbrite or Groupon. Oh my goodness. And I find the best deals, if not free, to go and join and be a part of. And I created some really great friendships with people like that, just that alone. So, with that being said, I kind of want to show you guys a few things that I have here that have been really helpful for me with my self care. And one of them is going to be ta-da, ta-da, Epsom salt. Yes. So this is my favorite. It really is. And what I do with the Epsom salt is I make these bath soaks that are really, really nice. And if you don't like to take a bath, you can scrub with them in the shower too, because I've done that. And so what I do is I get a little bit of essential oil, and I get the salts that I need. Sometimes I add pink Himalayan salt or whatever additives that I could find for what I'm going through. If I'm hurting, I put a little arnica oil in it. If I'm feeling really nice and special with myself, I drop some rose oil in it. All of these things that I just showed you are under $5, if that. And you can find them at pretty much local grocery store. And if not there, Amazon or Amazon, as I call them, you can find it there. Then also what I do is I have a set of gel glitter pens, and I have like more than one set, and I have them in every backpack, every purse, um, every area in my house has one, and they have coloring books to go with them. Dollar Tree, Five Below, places like that have been my outlet for finding these coloring books, and I just color in them. And I like the way that the glitter shows up really shiny on the paper with the gel pen, and that provides me a lot of relief and relaxation. So I get several different pillars of self-care when I'm doing the bath, or I'm doing my coloring, or my other little thing here is painting. So this is my own little art that I make, and I got these little paints here at Five and Below for less than five, like 325. So those are some tools that I want to share with you guys. When you're thinking about your self-care, let it be something tailored to what you do to make you feel good, and do a lot of it.
Okay. All righty. So Thank you, Keshia. These are like amazing, great ideas. And I absolutely love that you're doing this self-care, and it's not rocket science. It is basically you finding ways to make yourself happy because do you agree that the world is not going to make us happy? We have to find our happiness
Right.
within ourselves.
Yes.
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 And
Well,
you matter.
yes, yes. One thing that you touched upon is going and doing and breathing and whatever. I find that I like to do things. I mean, I'm sort of introverted and extroverted at the same time. I'm ambivert in the middle, but I take my camera with me, and I'll go to like the Japanese gardens in Austin or the gardens in Dallas, and I don't need anybody around me. It's not a social event, but I make it a social event because I just sit there and I take pictures of, flowers and stuff. And when people pass me, I say hello. So yeah, and you're right. We breathe, we relax, and it's you come back in a whole different light, like you said, after your self-care. Do
Mhm.
you agree?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I do agree because, like I said, I had no idea what self care looked like. And it was not something that was taught in my house. It was not something that I saw at my neighbor's house or anywhere else. But I thought it was a reward system. I didn't realize that going to bed early so I can be more present the next day was actually a form of self-care for me. So every so often I go ahead and go to bed early. I mean, it's like, okay, let's go to bed early. Remember when we did that last time? We felt really great the next day, and we did a lot of things. We were rocking and rolling. Our productivity was up there. So
Hmm.
when we take the time to rest, that is still work. So that is a part of the work so that you can come back and show up fully and be more present. And also by taking care of your own self, you're just more happier individual when you deal with people.
Hmm.
And we need that for ourselves. It's not even a gift. It's like do it. It's part of your lifestyle. So sometimes I hear people say, well, I did it for my kids and I did it and I get it if that's what
Hmm.
you did it for. But for me, it's always, is this going to work for me? Is
Hmm.
this going to work for me? No, that's not going to work. And learning to set those healthy boundaries, especially in adulthood, when I got a little bit more older and had the family and this and that, and I had a lot of responsibility. Learning how to not work 18 hours a day and go home and take care of all the kids and get up in 3 hours and do it again was really a very, very hard place for me to be in because that was all I had known is to be driven. I wasn't enjoying anything though. I was just being driven, and I didn't
Hmm.
know that that was going to drive me to a point to where I was not even happy. So yeah.
Right. And being a parent too, sometimes you equate self-care with, oh, I'm being selfish. I don't know how many times mothers, fathers go, yeah, I'm going to be selfish and do this thing. And it's not selfish. As you said, it is self-care and what you need to keep going.
Yes,
Yes.
totally agree with that. And um, being that you said that, I also want to share this too. Um, I always like to remind myself, if I lose me, who's going to get me back? You know, and I'm going to do this for me so that I can do what I need to do for my other responsibilities.
Hmm.
Because if I'm unhappy, if I'm tired, if I'm overwhelmed, if I'm stressed, if I need a break, I'm not going to be myself and I'm not going to be of service to anyone.
This is true. Putting the oxygen mask on yourself first
Yes,
before on
yes.
somebody else.
Yes, and so many people will say, well, for instance, my boyfriend will always, oh, it's welcome to adulthood. No, adulthood does not have to be that strategically stressful.
Yeah.
Welcoming me to adulthood is showing me how to not be stressful, please. So
Yes.
one of
Yes.
being that we are doing the adulthood series, just remembering that as a place to hold right here in your own heart, that I don't have to be drained or overworked or overwhelmed and doing it all for everyone else and nothing for myself, because I have to take care of me first.
Mm-hmm.
Me
Mm-hmm.
first.
Well, there was something you said in the beginning, which I thought was very, very key to self-care. You said when you get in a car, rather than saying, I have to get
Mhm.
where I'm going, you said, I get to. And just changing those words can make a big difference, right?
Yes, it absolutely
Mhm.
does. It absolutely does. So many times we're busy checking off on the to-do list that we forgot about the to-done list. We just forget to honor that. So many times I too have left home and said, oh, I gotta get over here real quick, real fast. Oh, everybody's driving slow, this, that. Instead of saying, oh, it's really nice that I have my own car to drive, or that I have a way, or I even have money left over when I get done to have some lunch today.
Mhm.
Or I bought my lunch and I was able to prepare what I wanted.
Mhm.
All the things that we can often miss, and count it out. We should be counting it in, and then you'll see how much better you feel.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Those are wise words, Keisha. Very wise words. Do you have any I know like if anybody has any questions or comments, make sure you put them in the comments. Since this is a pre-record, we will definitely get those questions and those comments to Keisha. But do you have any like closing or encouraging words that you want to tell those people out there? Because the whole series is about surviving adulthood, all the different aspects of living independently and surviving as an adult, because we no longer have people taking care of us and telling
Mm-hmm.
us what to do.
Right.
So do you have any like last encouraging words you would like to tell everyone?
I absolutely do. I do. I'm going to say this with a little bit of emphasis on it because I want you guys to all feel this. So far, right now, so far, your track record for surviving your worst days is 100%. It's 100%. And I want you to remember that you matter and you're doing a lot better than you think you are.
Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Encouraging and so important that, besides learning how to do things like rent and take care
Mhm.
of this and take care of that, that you have the most important subject, which is taking care of yourself.
That's right. That's right. Even if it looks like a nap. And yeah, I used to be feeling guilty about, oh, I'm tired. I got to take a nap real quick. Oh no, I'm gonna take a nap so that I can take care of me. This body I have, this is what I have, and I gotta be nice to it because I just get up and walk and don't even think about, are you taking care of your legs and your feet?
Yep.
Because
Yep.
I'm over here worrying about the rent, the
Yeah.
insurance. All what I learned is that the world's not gonna blow up, even if something doesn't happen the way we planned it. The world's not
Yeah.
gonna blow up. And the next thing is, if it were easy, everybody be doing it. Nobody came with instructions. And
Right.
we can totally do this thing and do it and do it and do it. If I fall down 7 times, I get up 8. I'm still ahead.
Yep. Yep. Well, Keisha, we are thrilled that you stopped to talk with us today to take. I know you have so many things that you do. You're busy, busy, busy. You just got home from work. And we are very, very thankful to have you in our community and in our CTC community. And, you know, we hope that your wise words will be heard, and those who are learning to be adults, whether it be whatever age you are, and learning to just be on your own, will take it to heart. So thank you so much. Before we go, and don't you, when I say it's time to go, Keshia, don't just hang up on me. Forgot to tell you that part. But let me just tell you guys of some upcoming events for next week. On February 21st, we are going to have another night sky tour with Warren. He is going to be talking about the March night sky. And for those of you who don't know, Warren will be retiring in April. So make sure you get to watch this night sky tour, because you're coming down to some of the last chances for us to learn from our CTC astronomer. Then on February 26th, we have food safety, another surviving adulthood, because you got to eat right and you can't contaminate your food.
Yeah.
So the food safety is going to be like by Chef Lupita. So that will be really great. And then on February 28th, we have Aubrey Ryan, who's going to be talking about renting. And she has some really, really great advice, especially if you're going to be renting for the first time. In fact, she's had such wonderful experiences by all of her preparation that when I asked her, and what happens and who do you talk to if if the landlord doesn't do anything? And she was like, uh, so don't you want to be in the position to get it right the first time? So anyway, thank you guys so much. Enjoy the rest of your day. We hope you take all of the Surviving Adulthood series to heart. And again, Keshia, thank you. And you guys have an awesome rest of the day. We'll see you later. Bye.